I thought I had the perfect marriage. My wife and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5, and to everyone around us, we seemed like the definition of happiness. We traveled often, hosted family dinners, and filled our social media with smiling pictures. But behind those photos, cracks were spreading. Cracks I refused to see because I trusted her fully. It started with tiny shifts in her behavior. At first, they were so subtle I convinced myself I was imagining things. She used to text me every lunch break, but those messages slowed until they disappeared completely. She began dressing differently, saying she was focusing on herself, but it didn't feel right. She had always been beautiful, but now it felt like she was putting in extra effort for someone else. Then came the late nights. She said she was swamped with work projects. I told her I was proud, but I couldn't ignore how often she came home smelling like a perfume that wasn't hers, or how she sometimes avoided kissing me like she had something to hide. I brushed it aside, but deep down, my gut told me something was wrong. The breaking point came one Saturday night. She told me she was going to a girls' night. No problem. But hours later, a notification from Google Maps showed me her location, still shared with me. She wasn't at the bar she claimed. She was at a hotel across town. My stomach dropped. I didn't want to believe it, so I drove there. Seeing her car parked out front was enough. I couldn't bring myself to go in. Instead, I sat in the lot, silent, heart pounding. Around midnight, she came out with a man I'd never seen, laughing with her arm wrapped around his. She looked happier than she had in months. That image burned into me. I didn't confront her that night. I drove home alone, sitting in the dark, wondering how long this had been happening. When she walked in later and kissed me on the cheek like nothing was wrong, that moment nearly destroyed me. Pretending I didn't know was the hardest part. In the weeks that followed, I became an investigator in my own marriage. I went through phone bills, bank statements, social media. Every clue piled up like bricks on my chest. Dinners at restaurants I'd never been to. Hotel charges in her name. A secret email account filled with plans about their future. The worst discovery came from one of those emails. Our daughter, 3 years old, my entire world. In one message, she wrote to him, "Sometimes I wonder if she's even his." Those words shattered me. I ordered a DNA test immediately. Waiting for the results was agony. Every time I looked at my daughter, doubt ripped me apart. When the results came, I felt both crushed and relieved. She was mine. At least I still had that. But it also meant my wife had lied in the cruelest way, making me question the one pure thing in my life. When I finally confronted her, I was calm, colder than I'd ever been. I laid out everything: hotel receipts, messages, her location history. She didn't cry, didn't beg. She only said, "I haven't been happy for a long time. You should have known." As if unhappiness excused betrayal. I told her to leave. She laughed, thinking I was bluffing. But I'd already changed the locks and called her parents. When she realized I was serious, panic hit. She begged me not to tell anyone, but it was too late. Her parents knew, her siblings knew, and even her boss knew because I'd forwarded the receipts to her work email. If she wanted a new life with him, she could build it on the truth. The days after blurred together. Anger, grief, numbness, I felt them all at once. Some nights I lay awake replaying every memory, asking myself if any of it was real. Did she ever love me, or was I just a stand-in until someone else came along? Now it's just me and my daughter. I won't pretend it's easy. She asks where her mom is, and I force myself not to break. But I know this: I'd rather raise her in a home built on honesty than keep her in a life of lies. People say trust is everything. I used to agree without thinking. Now I know the truth. Trust means giving someone the power to destroy you and hoping they never do. My wife used that power, and once it's broken, it can't be repaired. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know one thing: I'll never ignore red flags again. Because sometimes the truth, no matter how painful, hurts less than the lies you force yourself to believe.